Harrisburg Stampede. Justin Coble with
I gotta change the freaking.
Oh, there it is.
Basically, they were
It's
playing
Major
Major League with a real game. Yeah.
Oh shit! There's the Hattie.
And with the sound of the hockey organ, that means we are now entering our second half of the episode. Man, I don't want to touch this with the 50-foot pole because ain't no one going to be happy about any of it. But did college football finally get the playoffs right?
I feel they kind of did at this point because they actually have a playoff, not just 4 games and calling it a day. Not just 4 teams and calling it. They actually set up an actual system, like a bracket, let's say.
They did. I don't really enjoy the fact that it spans the entire month of January, almost.
What are you gonna do though? I mean, at least they put it.
I'm sure it could be done better, and I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that think that. I don't know. I mean, I shared in the group a concept, and that seemed to be met with overwhelming dislike, mainly because Notre Dame would not be involved. Man, let me tell you, people are going to be insufferable in where we live for the next week until that game is played and over.
Thursday.
And
so it's gonna be interesting because people are gonna, like you said, people are gonna go nuts.
It's basically Penn State versus the Catholics where we live.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong for sure.
Happy Valley versus the Baby Jesus, coming to you January 9th on CBS.
Yeah, I do like though how
I'm going to hell.
I'll see you there. I do like how they actually had the actual brackets go through. Like they actually have, the way you would think a playoff should be. But like you said, this probably doesn't make people happy because it's going so long.
It's my biggest complaint. Because we grew up when all these things were settled New Year's Day, basically.
Well, I think normally though the college championship was always played like the first week or two. I think the second week of January normally, and not what it is now, where it's
they've only this
January
format.
20th.
This format. The national championship, as it's known right now, has been in existence since 2014. Before that, they had the BCS national championship game from 98 to 2013, and then the Bowl Alliance from 95 to 97, the Bowl Coalition from 92 to 94, and then national polls from 1872 to 1991. So they've been trying to fix whatever this is since 1991, essentially, because it lasted from the 1800s until 1991 before that.
I just find it funny on how, if you think about it, whoever wins the national championship is going to be, let's see here, at least 2 bowl wins, have 2 bowl wins under their name before they hit the title game. So let's just look. Well, no, let's just say Penn State, just because they're local. They won the Fiesta Bowl.
These goddamn guys are showing favoritism to Penn State. I'm turning this off. Sorry, I'm all shits and giggles at the moment. I apologize.
and if Penn State beats Notre Dame, they have won the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
So, and normally it was always one bowl. A team only wins one bowl
Right.
not a possible like 2 or 3. I just find that interesting. That's just why I
Right. I mean,
brought
it's
that up.
a total change in pace.
Like I
And
said, I
for the
do like.
record, the quote unquote experts are predicting Notre Dame will beat Penn State. Um,
It,
I have my thoughts on sports experts because I am not one. Um, but
I
we'll
mean,
find out.
I
We'll see
mean,
what happens.
hell, it's some of the games that have been played were pretty ridiculous. Like, did the team even show up? Like, let's say for
I
example, Oregon, Ohio State, or Ohio State dominated them.
But what does
Same
it
thing.
say about Penn State?
I was
Because
gonna say
Penn State, I
dominated
mean,
Boise. I mean,
the
it's all
Penn,
divisions.
but I'm
Some
saying like
divisions are stronger than others.
Penn State lost to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game, and I mean it wasn't a blow up by any means, but Penn State still lost to them.
Yeah.
So what does it say about the Big Ten champion that Ohio State defeated them so soundly? Like that's another thing where I think the bracket is not exactly flawless.
Oh, there's always going to be
Because
a
what
flaw
does
in
it
every
say
bracket.
about the champions of these leagues if they're losing almost similar to the current MLB playoff status setup, where these one seeds are getting a bye and they're losing their series.
I mean, I was never a fan of buys to begin with because I know some teams can benefit from them. Some teams hurt from them.
Yeah,
Because I know when I was playing hockey and I had a buy, we hurt from it.
because you had that time off, you weren't
Exactly.
fresh.
Well, not just that, you lose momentum, you lose a lot of things. But that's just my thought on the buys. I'm just not a fan of them.
Right. Here's the thing. When it comes to bracket format playoffs, any team can win at any given time.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's. I mean, I've always said it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get to the playoffs because anything can happen in the playoffs. You could just barely make it by the skin of your teeth and take the whole thing.
well, I mean, hockey, the playoffs are essentially a whole other season.
Well, we've seen that with baseball. I've seen that. I mean, we've seen that with baseball. Look at the Phillies when they beat the Cardinals, and nobody expected them to beat the Cardinals. I mean, yeah, they lost in the World Series, but they made it that far. The
Right,
Flyers back in 2010, where they made the playoffs just by a shootout, and so unfortunately they lost in the Stanley Cup, but yet they went that far.
right.
So as long as you get to the playoffs, you can build momentum in the playoffs easily. Just by doing what you do. You know, I've seen
I
8 seeds win
mean,
the Stanley Cup.
again, I think because the college football playoff format has been so maligned and overthought and discussed for so long, I don't think there's going to be a perfect playoff format for every school, every conference, every
No, there won't
fan.
be.
And maybe this is as good as it can get. I don't know. Um,
I
and
just
it's
find it
very
funny.
rare I take the safe approach in any of these discussions, but I just think no one's going to be happy with whatever's coming. Venom is going to be thrown at you no matter what you suggest.
Oh my god,
So,
yeah. Oh my god, yeah. This is college football, and the fact that the top 4 teams that had the buys all got eliminated. Because Georgia got knocked out, Boise State got knocked out, Oregon, Arizona State all had the
well,
first
Boise
round
State don't
buys.
know what to do playing on a green field. Uh, oh man.
But no, nobody's going to be happy because when they start the playoffs thing, it was just 4 teams, and they just picked 4 teams. It wasn't the 4 top ranked teams. They just randomly picked teams. of within
Right.
like a certain like 1 through 10, I guess. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit here on that. Because when you see, okay, they took 1, 2, they took a 4 team, they took a 5 team, but skipped number 3. It's like why just skip 3? There's so many questions that always ran through that. And with this, I feel it's the fact that they took like the top, was it 12 teams? But they took the
Yeah.
top 12 teams. Okay, yeah, you took the top 12 teams. There you go. Took the top 12, threw them in a bracket. There it is. There it is.
Right.
Rather than just randomly picking out random numbers for for 4 teams, for a 14 playoff. I prefer this over that because, like, hey, top 12, boom, done.
Right. No, I don't disagree. It's just it is what it is how I'll put it.
Will people be happy? No, nobody's going to be happy. This is college football. Nobody's happy with college football. Am I right or am I
Uh,
wrong?
uh,
Nobody's happy with
again,
college football.
not
I'll say
touching
it.
it with a 40-foot pole. I mean, I think there's people who would be. I think because where we're located, we have a very skewed idea of college football fandom because a lot of Penn State fans in the surrounding area, and by that I mean State College down, essentially to where we are. A lot of the fans are people who've never even gone to Penn State.
No, I didn't. Yeah, no.
Um, so their fandom is interesting to me. I mean, granted, I'm a Penn State fan, and I didn't go to Penn State, but I'm not like one of these like crazy diehards who like I can't miss the game. Like if I miss the game, oh well, shit happens.
Yeah,
Um, like I love my Phils, but I can't I try to watch every game, but that's impossible because there's a game every night during baseball season. Um, but I feel like there's a segment of fans who like they want Joe Paterno's corpse to rise from the ashes of death and come back and coach the team. And the second he loses, they will be calling for his head again. So I mean, I think we're surrounded by a lot of unrealistic fans to begin with. And a lot of it is people who don't have ties to the school. So it's I don't know. Maybe it's my thought. Maybe it's my opinions on college football fandom just based on where we're at. I don't know. I just I think there's a lot of with college football, I think in general maybe, though there's just a lot of fans who are maybe entitled or unrealistic as far as what these teams and their coaches can accomplish.
and not
And
just
then by
that.
adding an imperfect playoff system for so long, it just makes things even more kind of not good.
And the fact that these are kids. These are kids.
Uh,
They're college kids.
yes, but
They're
these are
not making money
kids.
out of this.
I mean, they are. That's all the whole, NCAA being sued and going to court. We talked about this in the first year of the show. Um,
How hard I remember
and,
what I did yesterday.
they get paid. They get a stipend. And some of these
Yeah, but it's not
kids,
millions of dollars though.
but it opens the door. Let's. I'm not getting into semantics with this, but they're receiving compensation beyond just a full ride. Um, I don't know. I just think we're surrounded by a group of fandom that is not always easy to make happy. And I
Uh,
think that's a lot of I
that's
think that's a lot of college football fandom in general though. Um
Well, you have people who are fans of colleges outside of the state they live in, and they never even played
oh
at that.
man.
I mean,
Look,
there's people in Pennsylvania who are Alabama fans that are
right,
never
and
even
it
went to
makes
Alabama.
no sense. It makes no sense.
You know,
they've never left their small town to even go on vacation, but somehow they're an Alabama fan. I get it.
Yeah. So we have that in Pennsylvania. You have that in every state. You have people who are in California who are Penn State fans and never been to Pennsylvania. You know, they never went past halfway past the country.
There are people from outside of the states who like the Eagles, so I get
I'm
it.
a Niners fan. How does that make sense?
Well, that does make sense because of when you were born and when the Niners were hot.
I mean, you got people who are just.
And you're not the only Niners fan I know from Pennsylvania in our age group. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, my, Matt, he's a Niners fan.
I don't even have a
So,
team anymore. Damn fantasy football.
but yeah, some of this stuff does not make sense at all.
It doesn't. I mean, but if this is as close as to good as it's going to get, then just accept it and move on,
Move
I
on.
guess. I don't know. I don't like the topic. The topic makes me uncomfortable because inevitably someone's going to get pissed off and someone's going to rant and rave about how we know nothing. And guess what? I know nothing. Like
We don't claim to be knowing nothing. We're not
I
on
admit
ESPN.
to people on a regular basis. I talk out of my ass on this show. So, I mean,
this is not ESPN. We're not paid
ESPN
analysts.
Not even ESPN. That was something I posted within the last month. Was it a compilation of Charlie Steiner screwing up constantly and laughing? Like I would kill for that ESPN to be back because I loved ESPN then.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be now.
No,
definitely not. But yeah, we try. We do try. We're honest. Got to give it that. We are honest. To know what we're talking about.
To know what we talk about. Yeah.
But no, nobody's going to be happy with anything with. It's just sports in general. Nobody's happy with anything of their sports teams or anything of that nature. Nobody's happy with it. Like college football, nobody's happy with the playoffs. There's a bunch of people out there who are so pissed off at this, they turned it off for the season, then they'll be back next year.
No, I know that.
Same thing
know
with,
that.
Same thing with the video I posted on the Facebook about the NFL, if they go to a seed system rather than because forget who it was, has a 14-2 record that could easily go to a wild card and not have home field advantage being their 14-2. They could change that. Who knows?
Are you just trying to piss people off in the group?
Yes, I am. I chose violence this morning.
Clearly.
I chose violence.
It's too early for violence.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh, I'm going to be getting a lot of hate messages.
I think it's absolutely possible that you will, yeah. And I can't stop that. Direct all hate mail.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I don't have anything else to talk about on this one.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You just want to end quick on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing it because it was something you put up there, but
I put up there just for a topic. We could have changed it. We could have found a different topic, but no, you chose. You wanted this as well because you didn't want it. You didn't change it, so it's not just me.
I don't change the topics very much, if ever. Maybe here and there, but as a rule, I don't.
We
Because
could have changed
you put
it.
thought and effort into the topic, so
And
I
now
don't
we just
mess with
pissed
them.
off. Now we probably just pissed off a ton of people.
I, that wouldn't surprise me if I do that on on a regular basis in our episodes, because I say just absolutely awful things about sports teams on a regular basis on this show.
So we got no difference then. There we go.
I mean, we literally have no listeners in Dallas. I mean, actually, I think we do have listeners in Dallas.
Oh
I may
well.
not now that I said that, but see, I piss off listeners all the time.
Oh, there you go. I
So
did it for
again,
once.
direct your hate messages to David
Yeah. Okay. Thank.
about the college football format. All right, real quick. The Rural Blaze Banner podcast is our friend Dave and his friends Greg and Jake and Garrett. That is a first responders first podcast where they share their stories. You can find that wherever you get your podcast if that interests you. The other ship is the Pop Culture Podcast with the Pro Wrestling Lean. You can find that podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for joining us for episode 98 of the Not Another Sports Podcast. As we mentioned in the beginning of the show, you can find the link to our MVP group on Facebook. It is a private group, so what you post is only in the group. It stays in the group, like Las Vegas. Fortunately, we don't have the same Las Vegas experience, but we have an experience for you anyway. It just involves a lot less gambling and hookers and cocaine. Um,
Oh. And there we go.
oh man. Anyway,
we are now officially off the tracks.
you can click that link and join our group. We'll be happy to have you to get involved in the fun that we're having there. That is all sports related. Um, Click the Linktree link in every episode description. That'll take you to our social media accounts. It'll take you to our T Public link. So you have all that access, and to all of our sponsors who are very gracious to give you 10% off of their products for just listening to the show. You can find the Non-Nerd Sports Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Podcast Addict, Amazon, iHeartRadio, blah, 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 blah. Do not forget to subscribe, rate, and review. My name's Jason,
I'm David.
and we will talk with you next time.
Good morning.